Fathis Ulven could only dimly remember what it was like to be a god. He had the foggy recollection of events and personalities, but the memory of what it felt like, what it truly was to be an omnipotent, omniscient being, eluded him. It was rather like trying to remember being in the womb, or perhaps more accurately, trying to remember the details of a week-old dream. It remained just slightly out of reach, like an unscratchable itch that tingled occasionally every now and then, and struck like a strong bout of déjà vu. Although he would never admit it to anyone, it felt to him as though Fathis the god was an entirely different person. Or at the very least, since his apotheosis beneath Red Mountain with the final fateful swing of Sunder, someone else had been in the driving seat, with his old self becoming an increasingly passive observer. His old self, he reflected, probably would have seen his own death coming a mile away. Omniscience, you see, was the death of suspicion, and for this reason he'd failed to notice the ebony arrow of slaying until the feathered end of it was protruding from his own chest. Just who'd shot it, he wasn't sure. Clearly there was some clever magic afoot, because as far as he knew, the arrows of slaying were locked safely in the deepest level of the Telvanni vault. For that matter, no living soul knew of their existence save himself. Well, actually there was an exception. That wretched trickster Vivek knew about the arrows, but the former man-god was supposedly dead. Perhaps not. There had to be accomplices, of course. Ed Thaman, his one-time mouth on the Telvanni Council. Master Arian, perhaps. Archcanon Sarioni. That old goat Deve Fear. Could have been Myri the cleaning lady for all he knew. It hardly mattered anyway. Whoever was responsible was long dead, and thanks to the troublesome meddling of Akatosh, the murder had never technically been committed in the first place. Dragon breaks were a loathsome invention of the divine, Fathis thought as he attempted to wrestle the metaphysics of it all. As near as he could tell, history had thenceforth unfolded as before, right up to the point at which he had entered the heart chamber. Then things had taken a different turn. Fathis did not recall destroying the Heart of Lorkhan, and yet apparently he had. Quite why he remembered things differently to everyone else he couldn't explain, but it appeared the original chain of events now existed purely within his own memories. It was almost enough to drive him mad. When he died for the first time, he'd been standing amidst the rubble of the Imperial city. That much he could definitely recall. Numidium towered overhead, a chunk of white gold tower gripped in one colossal brass talon. Chancellor Okato was prostrated before him, along with the tattered remnants of the Imperial Legion. It was all very symbolic, he thought. Someone could have made quite the stained glass window out of it all in the years to come. Then the unknown archer loosed his arrow, and he was gone, tumbling back over and over himself through the marble jaws of oblivion. They all wanted a piece of him, you see, the Daedric princes. Azura staked her claim first. She excelled at holding a grudge, after all. Mehrunes Dagon was next. His attempted manifestation upon Nirn had been crushed beneath the boot of the brass god, and especially when you consider that he'd once given Fathis his very own razor and probably hoped he'd found a useful pawn, well, this was enough to make any deity of destruction furious. The rest of the so-called anticipations all wanted their pound of soul as well, of course. They'd been owed the renewed worship of the Dunmer people with the Tribunal destroyed, but that had gone up in smoke when Fathis had claimed the Heart of Lorkhan for himself, and Nerevar the god was born. Exactly what they did with him, and to him, remained a mystery, only to be relived in brief, terrifying moments in Fathis's nightmares. Perhaps it was so terrible that he'd suppressed all memory of it. Or perhaps his newly mortal mind was simply incapable of comprehending the memories of his Promethean agony, in much the same way a sardine would struggle to comprehend the exquisite torture of being forced to fill in a tax return. For exactly how long this went on is entirely impossible to determine, but eventually it ended because at some point Fathis's immortal soul was plucked from the firmament like a bruised raspberry by Akatosh, the dragon god of time, that most curious of cosmic gardeners. So, in the Fourth Era, on a clear night in the Gerald Mountains, a group of Colovian goat herders bore witness to a falling star, which, if they squinted hard enough, they could have sworn was man-shaped. Fathis Ulven, shorn of pride, dignity, clothing, and his short-term memory, landed upon the mountainside, conscious, breathing, and with the faint recollection of a bargain having been struck. The dragon god needed him for something. Quite what that was he didn't know, but it was enough to bask in the knowledge that Azura and her kin had been robbed of their prize again, and that gave him the strength to stagger defiantly onwards through the trees, directly into the midst of a whole platoon of Imperial soldiers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're staring at Ralof. There's a whole bunch of text on the top left of the screen. It can mean only one thing. Welcome back to Skyrim, everybody, as we stare at the back of this Imperial Guard's cloak with his torso clipping through it. Oh, it's modded Skyrim, in case that wasn't obvious. Hello, everybody. Here we are on the path to Helgen once again. As Fathis sits in the back of this cart.
Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us. And that thief over there.
Damn you, Stormcloaks. Skyrim was fine until you...
Crossing the border in a rather more metaphysical sense than a physical one, I think.
Hadn't been looking for you. Stolen that
But not
horse
entirely
before the
inaccurate,
hammer
Mr. Ralof.
You there. You and me. We shouldn't be here. It's these Stormcloaks the Empire wants.
What the devil's a Stormcloak? Where am I? Who are these people?
Shut up back there.
What's wrong with him, huh?
Watch your tongue. You're speaking to Ulfric Stormcloak, the true High King.
Who?
Ulfric? The Jarl of Gwynhelm? You're the leader of the rebellion.
What rebellion?
They captured you.
What's going on?
Oh, God. Where are they
I demand to
taking
speak to
us?
somebody in charge.
I don't know where we're going, but Sovngarde awaits.
No, this can't be happening. This isn't happening.
Hey, what village are you from, horse thief?
Why do you care?
A Nord's
there's
last
Helgen.
thoughts.
I'm going to talk over this dialogue a little bit because we've all heard it umpteen
Rorikstead.
times before.
I'm
You've
from
somehow never
Rorikstead.
played Skyrim before and you're watching this. Exactly which rock were you hiding under? And why is the shadow of our cart floating? It's rather interesting, isn't it?
Sure. Mara, Debella, Kinnereth, Akatosh, Divines, please help me.
Don't get me started on the bloody divines.
Look at him. General Tully is the military governor. And it looks like the Dalmor are with him. Damn elves. I bet they had something to do with it.
Excuse you, sir. Don't look at me.
This is Helgen. I used to be sweet on a girl from here. Wonder if Elod is still making that mead.
Is he
with
going to
juniper
keep
berries and
rambling like this all the way to our destination?
When I was a boy.
You there, guard. Could you knock him
Imperial
unconscious,
walls,
please, for a
towers,
moment? Give us
used
some
to make me
peace.
feel so safe.
Who are they, Daddy? Where are they going?
To go inside the car.
Why? I want to watch the soldiers.
Inside the house.
Ah, there's only the children inside. That's probably not a good sign, is it?
Get these prisoners out of the carts. Move it!
Why are we stopping?
Why do you think? End of the line.
There's a gentleman over there with a rather large black sack over his head carrying an axe.
Let's go. Shouldn't keep the gods waiting for us.
Oh, they've waited long enough,
Wait,
believe
we're
me.
not rebels.
Face your death with some courage, thief.
You've got to tell them we weren't with you. This is a mistake.
Step towards the block when we call your name. One at a time.
Empire loves their damn lists.
Ulfric Stormcloak.
Well, I wonder how we're going to wriggle out of this one.
It has been an honor.
Sure, something will come up. It always does.
Ralof of Riverwood.
Ah, hello, Raveloft. Nice to meet you.
Lokir
Well,
of
hands
Rorik's.
weren't tied up like this. I suppose I could probably wave them around and levitate out of here. Now, wouldn't that be a good hoot?
You're not gonna kill me.
Archer!
Oh, don't try and run. They'll just...
Anyone else feel like running?
Amateur.
Wait. You there. Step forward. Who are you?
Don't you know who I am? Well, that's a silly question. Of course I don't know who I am. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Fathis, of course, obviously, as you've already gathered by now, I'm sure, in this video. I haven't actually made the introduction yet, but I will eventually. Fathis Ulven is a character we've seen before, in case you didn't already know. He was the chief character in my very long-running Morrowind Let's Play, and he's back! He's a Dark Elf, also known as Dunmer in the homeland of Morrowind. Dark Elves are noted for their stealth and magic skills. They are naturally resistant to fire and can call upon their ancestors' wrath to surround themselves in fire. Apparently we get a bonus of Alchemy 5, Alteration 5, Destruction 10, Illusion 5, Light Armor 5, Sneak 5. Now, in Morrowind, Fathis was an interesting character because he was principally a mage, although he wasn't a terrifically talented one in the sense that he didn't have an awful lot of magicka, but what he did do is make up for it with enchanted gadgets, generally speaking. Theoretically, he was supposed to be a sneaky character, and his sneak skill was okay, but because of Morrowind's stealth mechanics being what they were, he didn't actually do an awful lot of sneaking in the end. He also rather notably didn't do any destruction magic. He sort of got rid of his enemies through other means, quite often by massively abusing Morrowind's mysticism by just spamming absorb health on everything, which is not something you can do in Skyrim, so his entire sort of magical setup is going to have to go through a bit of a rethink, I imagine. Incidentally, he'll start the game with access to absolutely no spells whatsoever. We can speculate as to why, for whatever magical, mystical reason that is, but I've actually made sure that he doesn't even start with the usual healing and flame spells that you get in Skyrim, because I like the idea of him having to learn it all again from scratch, because for whatever reason, the plane of Mundus, or Magnus, or whatever it's called, where all the magic comes from, seems to have shifted a little bit in the last couple of hundred of years, and nothing really seems to work quite the way it used to. Anyway, that's probably enough blathering for now. He's got an appointment at the headsman's block to make sure he gets to on time. Oh, his name is definitely not prisoner. Fathis Ulven, spelt exactly like that. A name I once plucked from the Tamriel rebuilt generator. A staggeringly long time ago, it feels like now.
Another refugee? Gods really have abandoned your people, Dark Elf.
Refugee?
Captain.
Refugee?
He's not on the list.
They really don't know who I am, do they?
He goes to the block.
By your orders, Captain. I'm sorry. We'll make sure your remains are returned to Morrowind. Follow the captain, prisoner.
Why do I suspect that might not be the case? Not sure I trust this lady over here to make sure that actually happens. Not that it's going to happen. Something will be along shortly, I've no doubt.
Ulfric Stormcloak. Some here in Helgen call you a hero, but a hero doesn't use a power like the voice to murder his king and usurp his throne.
Oh, I see. The Nords have been getting all uppity, have they?
You started
Again.
this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
Aha!
What was that?
It's nothing. Carry on.
What was that?
Yes,
That
General
sounds like
Fathis.
it's probably my
Give them
ticket
their
out
last
of here.
As we
Josh would have been
commend your
wasting his
souls
bloody
to
time,
Imperials,
of which he has plenty,
blessings
of
the
course.
eight divines upon
For the
you.
love of
If he'd
Talos,
sent me
shut
down
up.
to
Let's
here
get this
right
over
now
with.
without a plan,
As you wish.
Come on! I haven't got all morning.
I have to admit I admire his spirit.
My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperials. Can you say the same?
Off it goes like a ripe melon.
You Imperial bastards!
Justice!
Death to the Stormcloaks!
As fearless in death as he was in life.
Next, the Dark Elf!
Oh, all right then. Oh,
Here it is again. Did you hear that?
I said...
I'm sure
next,
it's nothing.
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy.
Oh, if you insist, very well. Alright, there we go. And... oh, jolly good, look at that!
Sentries. What do you see?
It's in the clouds!
Serendipity, thy name is large fire-breathing lizard. I assume it's fire-breathing anyway.
Don't get shot! Guards, get me down people to safety!
There we go. I knew Akatosh had a plan of some sort. Bit on the nose, though. A dragon. I mean, come on. Still rather impressive. Look at it go. My goodness, I've never seen a living thing quite so large before. Where are you going? Oh, I suppose they're all taking cover, aren't they? Say, the fireballs are a rather nice effect. Now, where's it going? I'd like to get a better look at it, frankly. Not every day you see something like this. You come back here, you. I appreciate the save and all that. These are landing rather close, aren't they? Oh, it's gotten the headsman. Couldn't happen to a nicer fellow, I'm sure. All right, then. I'd better get out of the way. It'll make you feel better, Mr. Raloff. Oh, there he comes again. Oh, there we are. There's the aforementioned fire breathing as advertised. Ah, I was beginning to be a little disappointed.
Jarl, look. What is that thing? Could the legends be true?
Legends don't burn down villages.
Large fire-breathing lizards do, though.
We need to move, now! Up through the tower. Let's go!
Good idea. I better get a better view from up here.
We just need to move.
Oh, crumbs. Well, very impressive. Seems to have taken out the stairs, though.
See the
Bad
inn
luck
on the other
there.
side. Jump through the roof and keep going.
Jump through there without a levitation spell, without any slow fall? Are you mad? Well, I suppose I've made worse jumps than that before. Never with my hands tied behind my back, though. Oh, I say, there's a chap or two up on that roof over there. He's just asking to be bitten and flown off with, isn't he? Brave fellow. Never mind, I suppose I'd better go. I'm going to get out of here. I suppose that is the point of the large flamethrower with wings. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Oh, right, I can't pick it up. Hands bound. The instinctive urge to loot things has already taken over, folks. I'll be ducking in and out of character as this playthrough goes on. I never usually stick to character all the way through. I just find it incapable. Well, I find myself incapable of doing it, really. Oh, goodness me, he's landed right over there. You should probably move, you know. I say, it's almost as if he was aiming at me there rather than you lot.
Stay that way.
That doesn't make much sense.
Take care of the boy. I have to find General Tullius and join the defense.
Gods guide you.
I thought this thing was my get-out-of-jail-free card. But no, it would take too long to explain to you, Mr. Hadvar, what a get-out-of-jail-free card is. Oh my goodness me, now that's a fine view of the beast. Look at those wings!
Quickly, follow me.
I did come back, I was just going to examine you, for goodness... Oh, fine. What was that explosion? Did you do that? That's rather impressive. Nice token effort there with the fireballs, chaps. I just think it's... The thing breathes fire, don't you know? I'm not sure what sort of effect fireballs are going to have on it. Was it landing? Oh, jolly good. Proper look at it now. Not sure what it's doing. If I were you, I'd back off, everybody. But so, what a magnificent-looking creature! Oh my goodness! Yes, that's why you should probably back away. You don't want to be in biting reach. Goodness me, that's 2 for 2 now. Off it goes again. You should hold still so I can get a proper look at it. Never mind. Best be getting on, I suppose. Akatrosh does like his timetables. Oh, there we go. It's landed again. I'd get... Oh, you're very lucky. I thought he was going to eat you. There he goes again. Gentlemen, there's no time for arguing now. Oh. It's all the same to you, Mr. Imperial fellow. I don't think I'm going to come with you. You were trying to chop off my head 5 minutes ago. Hello there, Mr. Railoff. That's better. Of course, I've just witnessed the dragon destroy several stone buildings, so I'm not sure how safe we actually are in here, but still.
Looks like we're the only ones who made it. That thing was a dragon, no doubt. Just like the children's stories and the legends. The harbingers of the end times. We better get moving. Come here. Let me see if I can get those bindings off.
I was just about to ask you the very same thing.
There you go. You may as well take Gunnar's gear. He won't be needing it anymore.
Yes, quite clearly. Alright, let's see. We've got axe, boots, and cuirass. Let's get those on. And equip the axe, I suppose. Not that Fathis has really ever used axes, but it'll have to do in a pinch, won't it?
I'm going to see if I can find some way out of here. Ah, this one's locked.
Oh my goodness, he looks ridiculous, doesn't he? Well, if I had any lockpicks, I'm sure I could give it a go. We don't, though. Oh!
Imperials, take cover.
It's our former friends.
Get this gate open.
I suppose they're going to be willing to listen to reason, are they? Not get a little thing like a dragon get in the way of chopping our heads off. Very well. That'll teach you to try and chop my head off. Let's see. Oh, a dagger. Now we're talking. Fathis, if you've never watched the Morrowind Let's Play, was awfully fond of daggers.
Let's see here.
Oh, another dagger. Now, I did actually, I must admit, I did...
Here we are. Found a key. Let's see if it opens that door.
I'm sure it will. I'm just going to go explore down here for a moment. Anyway, yes, he's rather fond of daggers. I did toy with the idea of him going dual-wielding in this Let's Play, actually, but I've decided against it in the end, mostly because I just don't like the way dual-wielding works in this game without using mods, and I didn't want to install more mods than was strictly speaking necessary, so I decided, you know what, we won't bother with that dual-wielding malarkey. A single dagger will do the job, as it did for many hundreds of hours of the Morrowind Let's Play. Although we did branch out into using swords eventually, I think. But, nice, quick, pointy daggers was very much his thing. Although, you can't stab with a dagger in this game, which makes me rather sad. There's probably a mod to fix that, but I couldn't be bothered to go and find it. Oh, I better block so the game shuts up about it. There you go. Oh, kind of you to wait. I would have just gotten out of here. Oh, cabbage. Particularly smelly, slightly off cabbage by the smell of it. The Imperials aren't keeping their forts very tidy these days, are they? Speaking of which, what year is it anyway? I'm getting the impression rather a lot of time has passed. Oh, well, you'd see, I did mention that,
That dragon doesn't give up easy.
Yes, it's right. It's quite capable of destroying stone buildings, as I mentioned.
Dragon's burning everything to the ground.
I just need to gather some more potions.
Ah, some more Imperials. Not willing to listen to reason as usual. Ah, stabbed right in the back. There we go. That's the Fathus we all know and love.
A storeroom. See if you can find any potions.
I think I already have 2 daggers as it is. I don't need to start a collection just yet. Especially if it's just iron daggers. Some food would be a good idea though, because I'm going to enable survival mode once we're out of this dungeon. A spigot. I think not. Crockery also is a no, to be honest. Maybe the wine though. Now let's see. There we go, there's some potions. And some all-important salt, of course. Especially all-important if you're using survival mode.
Done? Let's get moving.
Chop, chop.
Now you're mine. Troll's blood. It's a torture room.
It's your first time in a torture room, eh? I remember my first time in a torture room.
That's how a true Lord.
I do believe he was already dead.
No, I haven't seen him since the
No
death.
harm in wanting to make sure, I suppose.
Wait,
What have they got in here?
looks like there's something in this cage.
Ooh, a book. Brief History of the Empire, Volume 2. Only Volume 2, eh? Seems very much like the Volume 2 I remember. No new information in there.
It open with some picks. We might need that gold once we get out.
Oh, Volume 1, that's going to be even less helpful.
Anything useful and let's go.
What's he got? Nothing useful. Dead Stormcloak. With nothing useful. Oh, actually, gauntlets. Gauntlets are a thing. Let's have those. And the Torturer. With a nice leather hood and... Oh, a steel dagger! An upgrade already. Excellent. What do we have here? A knapsack with some lockpicks in it and a potion. Marvellous. And Book of the Dragonborn. I'm sure that's not relevant at all. Let's see. Anybody in... Ah! Hello! Alright, our first bit of lockpicking, ladies and gentlemen. Veterans of this channel will know that I'm no huge fan of the lockpicking minigame in Skyrim. I'll muddle my way through regardless, I'm sure. Oh, a spell tome. Here we go. And magic clothing, which we're going to immediately slip on, I think. Novice magic mode. Mage robes of regeneration. Magic regenerates 50% faster. Excellent. Already looking a little bit better than we were. Of course, there's the hood as well, which I suppose I'll no, wrong hood. Whoops. This one is the one we want. That gives us more magicka, although unfortunately it just somehow doesn't look right. I'm used to being able to see Fathus's hair. He never wore a hood in the Morrowind Let's Play. Also, there's this spell tome, which I think he's going to have a read through now. And oh, I already know Sparks, do I? That's interesting. I shouldn't know Sparks. And yet apparently I do. Did I automatically read it as I picked it up or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, regardless, I can do a bit of magic now, which means I need to start hotkeying things, so let's hotkey that. And also the dagger. Perfection. Excellent. Alright, let's give this a whirl, shall we? Do stand back, Rayloff. Ah yes, that seems to be working as advertised. Marvellous. Sorry I can't absorb health or teleport or levitate our way out of this just now. I'll have to give me some time to work on that, apparently. None of my old spells seem to work. At least not from memory. Ooh, more victims. Oh, hello. You remind me of Bill. I wonder what's happened to Bill.
Come on, hurry up.
Shall we? After you, sir. actually. Wouldn't hurt, would it? I imagine we'll be doing a lot of sneaking with Fathus in this playthrough. Well, actually, maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
I'm not waiting to be killed by a dragon. We need to fall back.
Okay, just try and slip past this lot while they're all... Oh, never mind. Alright, who wants some? Marvelous. That's all of them? Did you get them all? Oh, not quite, I see. Never mind, I'm sure you'll be having no problems at all with him. The sword's a little tempting, I must admit. The bow we won't be using. Fathus used a bow precisely once in the entire Morrowind Let's Play. It was rather significant when he did use it, admittedly, but he had to use a magical spell to actually buff his marksman in order to be able to do it in the first place. A spell he no longer has access to, obviously. Oh, speaking of spells he no longer has access to, light and or night eye, so we'll be having that torch as well. Let's see, let's push this. Are they coming, or are they staying here? Are you coming along? What are you doing? Never mind. Perhaps they know something I don't. That's a worrying thought. There's not a lot of people who know things that I don't. What's up this way? Is there anything extra to get up here? I don't remember. Oh, there is. Oh, there definitely is. There definitely is. Bone meal, let's take some of that for future potion making, shall we? Ah, we're just underneath this thing again. It's amazing how many times I forget to go down this little passage every time I do a new game of Skyrim. Are they coming? They ought to be coming. It's weird that they're not. I suppose I could just carry on without them. That's probably what Fathus would do. It's just having Ralof around is handy because it sort of kickstarts the main quest. Alright, fine. Never mind. The game has other ideas. Let's embrace the inherent strange randomness of a Bethesda game, shall we? Ah, giant spiders. Spiders of unusual size, one might say. Yes, hello, little creatures. Oh, there's more of them. They're even larger. Alright, let's be careful here. I don't have the healing spell, so... Oh, there we go. Very nice. Is that the lot? I do believe it is. Ah, frostbite venom. Now, Fathus never used poisons in Morrowind, because poisons aren't a thing in Morrowind. Random amethyst, don't mind if I do. He will be using poisons in this Let's Play, though, because if poisons had existed in Morrowind, he would have used them. Standing on random bones. Physics occurring. Very good. In case you forgot we were playing Skyrim. Alright, it's very dark in here. I hope it's not too dark for YouTube. It's certainly quite dark on my monitor. What do we have here? A coin purse and some wine. I'll take a bottle, I think. And that is a rather large sleeping bear. Let's leave sleeping bears to lie, shall we? When possible. Alright then. Further down this way, and blessed daylight at last. It's blinding lens flares that I haven't figured out a way to turn off yet. Oh, you've caught up. Jolly good. That was sneaky of you. Right, survival mode adds the need to eat, sleep, and stay warm. It also had additional... Start again. Survival adds the need to eat, sleep, and stay warm. It also adds additional challenges such as no fast travel, reduced carry weight, and leveling up only when you sleep. See the survival mode entry for help for details. Enable survival mode. Yes, I think I will.
Wait!
Oh, there it goes. So it finally had enough. I suppose now I'm out of here. It's
Looks like he's gone for good this
its
time.
part of the plan is done.
No way to know if anyone else made it out alive. But this place is going to be swarming with Imperials soon enough. We better clear out of here.
Yes, I suppose the rather large fire-breathing lizard was hard to miss.
The mill in Riverwood, just up the road. I'm sure she'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck. I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
Well, as a matter of fact, my dear fellow, I do not know the way to Riverwood, so I'm going to follow you. I will start grabbing a few alchemy ingredients along the way, though.
You've seen the true face of the Empire here today.
I saw the true face of the Empire a very long time ago, thank you. I didn't much like it then, I don't like it now, but I'm not going to join your little band of rebels or whatever in Windhelm. I need to get to Morrowind. There's a rather large stronghold with my name on it. Proverbially speaking, anyway. It's actually called Tel Uverith, but I'd been lobbying to get that changed for quite some time, but never got anywhere with it. Hunger. You are hungry, which reduces your total available stamina, represented by a dark region in the stamina bar. Hunger also affects how quickly you can attack with weapons. Eat food to reduce your hunger. Cooked meals are significantly better at storing hunger than raw, uncooked food. Eating raw meat may lead to contracting food poisoning. Yes. We'll eat that bread, I suppose. You will notice as we head on down here that there's a bit of custom music. I have customized my music for this installation a little bit. I don't remember that being there before. That's probably from the Rhodes mod I installed. Anyway, I've kept the custom music a little bit more low-key than I have in my Oblivion Let's Play. But a lot of it is... There's some Morrowind music in there. There's also some Tamriel Rebuilt soundtrack music in there. I think that's what it's from. Either that or Rebirth. Which I added in because it was in the Morrowind Let's Play, and I thought it added a nice sense of continuity to the whole thing. This isn't Riverwood, is it? You're not telling me Riverwood is a cave? Hello there. Good morning. I suppose that's our cue to leave. Very well. Very well. Good, good, good. Ah, now, what the devil are these things? Raylov seems to have wandered off somewhere. Not that I really mind. I suppose if I just follow this road, I'll get to wherever it is we're going anyway. Let's see. Warrior stone of some sort. I recognize these constellations. Mage and, one would assume thief, yes. Mage, warrior, thief. Mage, warrior, thief. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a Khajiit by his toe, etc. I think mage. In spirit, if not in practice. Master of the Arcane. Those under the sign of the mage cast more effective spells and scrolls. Mage's path. They gain additional experience in all mage skills. You may only have one sign blessing at a time. Well, look at that. Very impressive. Very pretty. Letting everybody for miles around know where I am, though, I suppose, aren't I? We get to move on. There's a little hut there that wasn't there before. I have a mod installed called Northern Roads, which adds a lot more things of interest along the various roads of Skyrim. This being one of them, I assume. I'll have that thistle as well, I suppose. Check to see if there's anything inside. Not very much is the answer. A few logs and a lantern that I can't do anything with, so... And of course that irritable bandit up there by that cave entrance. We shall leave alone for now, I think. Right then. I do believe I can see some buildings of some sort all the way along there. I am tired. Oh yes, fatigue. All the survival mode stuff kicking in. Now I have a mod installed that's sort of like the old 360 walk and run thing, which is supposed to make it so that my character doesn't walk backwards and doesn't face the direction I'm pointing the mouse all the time. It seems to only work half the time though. It's a little bit strange. Not really sure why. Not about to question it. As long as it's not crashing my game, I sort of don't care, I suppose. This would be Riverwood, I suppose. Let's have a look here. Riften that way. Markarth that way, Solitude that way, Whiterun that way, Windhelm that way. Aren't Windhelm and Riften both in the same direction? No, they're in the east somewhere. Most confusing. And somebody's nailed Riverwood along the bottom there. Presumably as some sort of joke.
A dragon! I saw a dragon!
What? What is it now, Mother?
It was as big as the mountain and black.
I see, now the mod's working.
It flew right over the
Fathis is actually facing in the correct
Dragons
direction.
now, is it? Please, Mother.
It's very odd, I don't really
If you
understand
keep
it.
on like this, everyone in town will think you're crazy. And I've got better things to do than listen to more of your fantasies.
Well, it's going to be a very long walk all the way to Morrowind from here, so I suppose I'd better find some supplies. What's this, the Riverwood Trader?
What are you doing here? I'll be right down.
Ralof? Oh, he must have made it here ahead of me. Is he over here somewhere? You mentioned something about having a place to stay, so as demeaning it is as it all is, I suppose I'd better catch up with him. Oh, there he is. He got here rather fast.
Go and watch the south road. Come find us if you see any Imperial soldiers coming.
Aw, Mama. I want to stay and talk with Uncle Ralof.
Look at you. Almost a grown man. Won't be long before you'll be joining the fight yourself.
That's right. Don't worry, Uncle Ralof. I won't let those soldiers sneak up on you.
Now, Ralof, what's going on? You two look pretty well done in. I can't remember when I last slept. Where to start? Well, the news you heard about Ulfric was true. The Imperials ambushed us outside Darkwater Crossing. Like they knew exactly where we'd be. That was 2 days ago now. We stopped in Helgen this morning, and I thought it was all over. Had us lined up to the headsman's block and ready to start chopping.
The cowards.
They wouldn't dare give Ulfric a fair trial. Treason for fighting for your own people. All of Skyrim would have seen the truth then. But then, out of nowhere, a dragon attacked.
You don't mean a real, live...
Oh, he does.
I can hardly believe it myself. And I was there. As strange as it sounds, we'd be dead if not for that dragon.
Yes.
In the confusion, we managed to slip away.
It was all rather convenient, wasn't it?
Really the first to make it to Riverwood?
Nobody else has come up the south road today, as far as I know.
Good. Maybe we can lay up for a while. I hate to put your family in danger, Gerda, but...
Nonsense. You and your friend are welcome to stay here as long as you need to. Let me worry about the Imperials. Any friend of Ralof's is a friend of mine. Here's the key to the house. Stay as long as you like. If there is anything else you need, just let me know.
Ah, there we go. This is very generous of it. Yeah, food. We're going to need that. You can keep your mead. Potions, yes. And yes, we'll have all of that.
There is something you could do for me. For all of us here. The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever troops he can. If you'll do that for me, I'll be in your debt. I'm glad to help any way I can. Until next time.
Well, privately, I'm still rather convinced this dragon was only here to get me out of trouble, but
Did Ulfric
If it makes them feel better, I suppose I can go and talk to the Jarl in Whiterun. I suppose it's just down the road, isn't it? It's probably my next stop on my way back to Morrowind anyway. Perhaps I can introduce myself to somebody there, explain exactly who it is I am, and why I need some transport to Morrowind. Toot sweet. I'll have to owe them for the trip, though, I suppose. I don't have access to any of my large fortune of gold coins right now. Left that all in the vault underneath the tower. Got an inn, have we? And we've got notice boards and things and what have you. This is from a mod as well. Beware these people. Dear Alvor, my trip in Saltzheim. Regarding the war, robbers, and visit the Dragonborn Gallery. Dragonborn Gallery? What's that about? Let's take that. My trip in Saltzheim might be interesting. Beware these people. What's all this? What's all this? Beware these people. Lucan, Valerius, Orgnar, Alvor. Do not play Gwent with them. They cheated me out of a lot of gold. They are thieving scoundrels and were last season seen in Whiterun Hold. Sven. Gwent? Gwent? Is this some sort of quaint Skyrim card game I'm not aware of? Sounds very unusual. And this one's got a picture on it. To anybody interested, I have recently made the trip to Saltzheim. I came back a few weeks ago and wanted to share my experience. My motivation was partly due to the thrill of adventuring in so on and so forth. It was an interesting year. The place is indeed a decaying mess. Ashes rain down from the sky. Vegetation is sparse and crops are difficult to grow except for this omnipresent potato, the ash yam. You must clearly be making it up. I've been to Solstheim. There's nothing of the sort going on there. Raven Rock itself is struggling to survive. Commerce is occasional in the ebony mine once all the economic pull of the town has been closed down for a long time. Oh dear. I have been out of things for rather a long time, haven't I? It is a shame and is raising ebony prices all across Skyrim. Someone should do something about it. Notwithstanding the depressing atmosphere of Raven Rock, so on and so forth. Wild and exotic. To a Nord? I wouldn't have thought a Nord would find Solstheim particularly wild and exotic. It's just lots of snow and trees. Main Peak. Peak is spelled with an A. Be warned, though, the locals sometimes behaved erratically. During one of my strolls just outside the town, I spotted the local bartender sculpting some monolithic. When I had already noticed the previous day, I came close to greet him, but he did not recall me at all. He kept blabbing some nonsense about the world listening and then seeing. A result of too much Sujama exposure, I think. So on and so forth. Orgnar apparently cheats at card games, if that other note is to be believed. Very strange. What's this thing? Visit the Dragonborn Gallery. Love all the unique treasures you've found and hate that they just sit in barrels in your home. Barrels, is it? As a matter of fact, I have a rather nice vault with glass display cases and things. Bring them to the capital city and display them for everyone else to enjoy and to display your prowess as an adventurer and a collector. Have a private collection, thank you very much. Pfft. Where are you off to in such a hurry? Oh. It's getting a little late, but apparently I've got somewhere else to stay rather than the inn. And we've got a notice board here as well from this mod, which actually adds quests. Which we're not going to do right now, but obviously we'll be paying some attention to this later. Adds a little side quest for you to do. Witcher style, hence the Gwent reference. So this is Raelof's house. I could wait here and follow him all the way there and then be like, oh, okay, that's where he lives. We'll just assume that he told us. However, perhaps we want to get to Whiterun. It's getting late.
To help any way I can.
Let's pop in here first.
Well, one of us has to do something.
I said no.
No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this.
Excuse me!
Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
Sorry I had to hear it too, frankly. Now then.
Well, I don't know what you overheard, but the Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop.
Quite frankly, I wasn't actually paying any attention. What have you got for sale? Do you sell spells?
I think I have a few old spell books laying about. If you want more, you'll have to go to the College of Winterhold.
Winterhold's over in the east, isn't it? Might have to stop off there, I suppose. Sure, probably they'll let me in just as soon as I explain who I am, of course. Backpacks and stuff. I can't afford it, but they'd be handy to have, wouldn't they? Yes, we don't have a lot of money at all, do we? Now I think about it. What can we sell him? The amethyst. Not much else, I suspect, really. We sort by value. What have we actually got that's worth getting rid of? The mage hood, admittedly, is an option, although probably ought to hold on to that. Get rid of that Stormcloak Curious. Hopefully he's not going to ask too many questions about where we got that. Don't need this Spark spell term anymore. I suppose I'll hold on to the leather hood for now, though I probably don't need it, do we? Really? It's just it's a vaguely slightly unique item, though, is what I kind of like about it, and I don't know where else in the game you get one other than joining the Thieves Guild. Right, oh, a couple of daggers I don't need. Oh, hearing that Morrowind soundtrack does bring me back to my happy place, I must admit. Don't need that arrow we got stuck with, apparently. Don't need those either. Alright, it's given us 200 gold to play with. Magic. Clairvoyance, Raise Zombie, Frostbite, Sparks we've already got, Lesser Ward, Oak Flesh, Fury, and a fishing map, and a Lesserud song. Not a very good selection here, is it? It'll have to do though, won't it? Raise Zombie. That would be very on brand for Fathis, wouldn't it, I suppose? Yes, I suppose we'll have that.
I better get back to cleaning the store. What a mess.
Very well. Let's read that book. I suppose, like, in theory, you can read it and then... this one's actually been consumed correctly. Like, the other one did not. It was very weird. The other one behaved almost like a spell book. Not a spell book, what am I talking about? A skill book, that's it. Do you know what? Yes, let's carry on towards Whiterun while there's still some daylight. Is there a handy little signpost anywhere? Don't think so, but the road only leads in one direction, so... Oh. One other thing. I'm sure nobody will mind that much if I take these. And, oh, hello. A fishing rod. I'm going to have these. Fathis obviously never did any fishing in Morrowind, because it wasn't a thing then. Of course, there's fishing mods for Morrowind nowadays, but not when I actually did that Let's Play. Goodness me. However, had there been a fishing mod available at the time, and had I been aware of it, I probably would have installed it. I like the idea of Fathis doing a spot of fishing. It feels very in character for him. If he were to have a hobby, I think fishing would be a big contender. Oh, here we go. Whiterun this way. Jolly. When it says this way, does it mean that way or this way? Nordic signposting. Not really clear, is it? I suppose if you were coming from this direction and you saw Whiterun this way, you would go, yes. I like the little things added by that roads mod, by the way. You see in Whiterun Hold, you see all these little wooden dragon heads littered about the place, which I think is quite fun. Adds a lot of random clutter like that to the world. Just sort of helps the game be a little bit more engaging, even after you've played it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Ah, wolves. Yes, I'm quite familiar with your species. killed plenty of you on Solstheim. You were just as irritating then as you are now. I should note, I think I'm playing on Adept difficulty. I know I usually play on Expert, and I'm playing on Adept in this playthrough. And the chief reason for that is because, obviously, even though Fathus has landed back on Nirn in a rather diminished state compared to the powerhouse of destruction he once was back in his heyday, he's still, you know, been around the block a few times, so it didn't feel quite appropriate to play on Expert right from the get-go, where he'd be regularly getting seriously troubled by things like wolves or bandits. Probably will still get troubled by bandits, to be fair, but some Imperials, although they seem to have their hands full with someone else. Tetchy bunch, aren't they? And that would be Whiterun, would it not? I suppose the rather large keep thing's quite impressive. Not sure about the rest of it. Not exactly Vivek, is it? Banner flapping in the breeze, I like that. And a few additional fortifications over here, which is quite nice as well. And these bridges have obviously gotten a bit of a glow up. The air is chilly here, apparently. Oh, look at that moon in the sky. Very nice. I have to admit, if I do say so myself, I've managed to get the game looking quite pretty. I am using an ENB, if you're curious. And I'm afraid, no, I don't have a preset for you to download. I made it myself. Because I find a lot of ENB presets that you can download to be a little bit OTT. So I made one myself that's incredibly subtle. Right. Do something about what? Oh, I see. There's some sort of giant. Does appear to already be dead, madam. There's nothing much to worry about. These fine gentlemen and ladies seem to have it under control. I slew a giant once, you know. Actually, a couple of giants over in Solstheim. More than one giant. More than one variety of giant, now I think about it. One of them looked rather like that fellow, though. This is kind of cool, isn't it? This little market stall thing, presumably owned by one of the farmers selling their goods directly to the public. There's the fast travel carriage.
By Easmere, it's true. A jester, funny suit and all, just north by the Lorius farm. Fool had a coffin in a cart with a broken wheel. I'd like to see him laugh his way out of that.
Well, sounds like you've had quite the journey, Uthgar. But you were gone longer than usual. I got to thinking maybe you...
That's a little conversation added by the cutting room floor mod, I believe. It's sort of a little bit of... that we can loot, there we go. A little bit of cut content that doesn't feature in the vanilla game, but you can add it back in with a little bit of modding know-how. There's a few bits in the game like that which are added back in with the cutting room floor. That's the most obvious one, though. There's that lovely night sky. Oh, we're cold as well, yes. Not quite as lovely as Morrowind's night sky, although it has its moments. With High Hrothgar silhouetted against it, it doesn't look half bad.
Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only.
I'm not going to bother asking you if you know who I am, because you clearly don't. I have news from Helgen about the dragon attack. Let me through at once.
Fine. But we'll be keeping an eye on you.
Right, is he going to unlock the door for us like the guy in Riften does, or does he just stand there? He just stands there, doesn't he?
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords for the
The
Imperial
grand
soldiers.
city of Whiterun, everybody.
Just can't fill an order that size on
Little
my
bit
own.
changed and
Why don't
edited
you
and
swallow
whatnot,
that
thanks
stuff
to
in
having
pine?
JK Skyrim
That's
installed.
Yorland
Also,
training for
it's
help.
got sewers from the
That shouldn't have been
Skyrim
my
sewers
need
mod.
to offer
Also,
Storm
please
Cloak.
don't mind the flickering lights.
Besides, Greymane
Best I could, no matter how hard I tried, I could not fix that while I was testing the whole mod setup. I even installed a mod that claimed to fix flickering lighting issues by changing the limit on the number of lights that Skyrim can render at once, but it didn't actually make a difference in the end after I installed it and all the several required mods it needed to work in the first place. So just kindly ignore that, if you would. As we make our way up towards the keep.
Someone's been pilfering crops from my farm. If I find out it's one of your kin, I'll see the culprit rot in prison. I'm surprised you had the wits to...
It's a little unclear to me, actually, whether or not, to what extent Fathis has travelled around Skyrim in the past. Obviously, he's a character with quite a backstory these days. He never went to Skyrim in the actual Let's Play, obviously, but he'd done a fair bit of, travelling and whatnot before the Let's Play even began, because when Morrowind began, he was already an old man by that point. I think perhaps he might have been to Whiterun at least once, which is why he knows his way up to the keep here, but also, frankly, feigning ignorance and being all like, oh, I don't know where the keep is, what way could it possibly be? Like we hadn't seen it from half a dozen miles away down there. Well, this is very impressive. I must say, these Nords, when they want to build a great hall, they really emphasize the great part, don't they? They take it all rather literally. Is that a dragon skeleton? My goodness, it is.
There's no telling what it means.
Seems to be around about the right scale.
We cannot afford to act rashly in times like these.
That would be the Jarl sat on that fancy wooden chair over there, wouldn't it?
Please, you have to listen.
I must say I prefer my throne room. It was rather a lot smaller, but the throne was much more impressive.
If the news from Helgen is true, well,
would you have
there's
to do
no
then?
telling what it means.
Nothing?
What's the meaning of this interruption?
Please.
Jarl Balgruth
This
is
no
not
time for
receiving
rash action.
visitors.
I just think we need more information before we...
I'm not going to bother trying to explain to her just who I am, but I have news from Helgen about the dragon attack.
Well, that explains why the guards let you in. Come on then. The Jarl will want to speak to you personally.
Thank you.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes?
Both of them, indeed. The dragon, let's see. Yes, the dragon destroyed Helgen, and last I saw it was heading this way. More or less. Would have beaten me here, though, so... Not sure why that makes any difference.
By Ysmir, Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls? Against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If that dragon is lurking in the mountains...
The Jarl of Falkreath will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
Well, I wasn't going to stop around, you know. I've got a pressing appointment elsewhere. Well, very well, he's not going to take no for an answer, is he? That's nobility for you. What's he given us? He's given us barbarian armor. This is how you reward me, with a loincloth and a couple of armbands? Ridiculous. Ridiculous people, these Nords. Just as ridiculous when I was on Solstheim last time. Mind you, if it has been a long time, I'm now starting to realise that Thirsk Mead Hall's going to owe me an awful lot of money in mead sales.
Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there.
The way they keep talking about these dragons, it's almost as if this one isn't the first they've heard of. That's mildly concerning, I suppose. Not supposed to be any dragons in this period of time. Not that I could quite remember what year it is right now anyway, but regardless, just tell me what you need me to do so I can go.
You are eager to begin your adventure. Excellent. The sooner begun, the sooner done, eh? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself.
I see. Have you encountered any other dragons, then?
Sadly, no. My work affords me few opportunities for such an adventure. Perhaps some hero will bring one to Dragon's Reach, like old Olaf one I once did. What a fascinating conversation that would be.
But if you can get it to hold still for more than 5 minutes, that'll be quite an achievement. I tried. Didn't seem to want to listen to me. Anything you'd tell me about this Bleak Falls Barrow, then, assuming I am actually going to go there?
An old tomb, built by the ancient Nords, perhaps dating back to the Dragon War itself. Ah, maybe you just want to know how to get there. It's near Riverwood, a miserable little village a few miles south of here. I'm sure some of the locals can point you in the right direction once you get there.
How do you know this stone tablet is in Bleak Falls Barrow, anyway?
Well, must preserve some professional secrets, mustn't we? I have my sources. Reliable sources.
Very well, keep your secrets then. I'll find them out one way or another, I'm quite sure, if I put my mind to it. Are you the only wizard in Whiterun?
I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense.
Do I look like a courier to you? Do you know who I am?
Well, let's see. Travel-stained clothes, worn soul's blank and unintelligent expression. Yes, in fact you do.
And I'm quite done talking to you. On the other hand, do you know where I can get some more spellbooks?
A prospective student, are you? Well, I'm afraid I'm not much good at teaching. You should try your luck at the College of Winterhold.
I see. This College of Winter, I shall clearly have to stop off there on my way east.
You know, if you've got the aptitude, you should join
anything we can use
College
to fight this dragon or dragons. We need it quickly, before it's too late.
Of course, Jarl Balgroof. You seem to have found me an able assistant. I'm sure he will prove most useful.
Succeed at this, and you'll be rewarded. Whiterun will be in your debt.
Very well. Just how much in my debt, though? That's the question. Are we talking 3 figures or 4? 5, really, I think, ought to be more appropriate, but this place looks maybe a little too impoverished for that. Where's he gone? Oh, he's buggered off. Okay, well, quite an affable fellow, really. I mean, he was a little bit rude, but, you know, by Telvanni standards, he was practically my best friend.